When Kingdom Hearts 1 released back in 2002, no one expected it to become a cultural juggernaut. Suddenly, this silly little Disney Final Fantasy crossover was not only moving millions of units and not only helping to shape the 3D action RPG genre, but was also permanently altering the brain chemistry of awkward, nerdy children everywhere. Case in point, moi. You know, in the timeline where I didn't play Kingdom Hearts, maybe I'd be normal. I'd probably still be gay though. And with that success, one would expect Square, the game's developer and publisher, to get right to work on a sequel. After all, KH1 left the main character Sora on a relatively open note. Sure, the world had been saved, but we still gotta find our missing friends. And also our gummy ship, because we're kind of lost in the depths of dark space now. Alas, while Kingdom Hearts 2 would release 3 years later, it wasn't the actual sequel to KH1. No, my friend, that would be far too simple and clean.
Fuck you!
That honor would belong to the Game Boy Advance exclusive Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
It's hard to let
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
What?
Wait, I can already hear you saying, what do you mean Chain of Memories? What is that? You're saying the second game in this series isn't the one with 2 in the title. Is Chain of Memories relevant and necessary to understand the story when Kingdom Hearts 2 comes out? And if so, why isn't this called Kingdom Hearts 2 then? And why the fuck is it on the Game Boy Advance? Why not, I don't know, the PS2? You know, the popular console that the first game already released on that is far more powerful and will allow the same audience to continue following seamlessly along?
You young, naive girl of 61.
Well, to answer one of your questions, yes, this is very much required reading, for better or worse. Thankfully though, this game was eventually remade for the PS2 as Chain of Memories in 2007 in Japan, and didn't come out in North America till 2008, like 3 years after Kingdom Hearts 2. So, way to go, guys. Fuck all the other regions, I guess. Long story short, because the Game Boy Advance was such a popular device back in the day, Square essentially wanted to port KH1 to it. I'm not too certain how much the demographics of the PS2 and the GBA overlap, but on paper, it does kind of make sense. With KH1's popularity, no doubt thanks to its use of iconic Disney characters, why not port it to a handheld that, at least I would assume, is more popular with a younger crowd, more likely to enjoy fighting alongside Donald and Goofilius. But, see, that's where Tetsuya Nomura comes in, my fucking nemesis. I referenced him in the KH1 video, but basically, Nomura is Kingdom Hearts' dad. He is the creator, he is the director, he is the source of my pain. And this man is a visionary, an icon, and a lunatic. This man loves himself a strong aesthetic and a bold creative idea that no one has ever dared try before. While he was helming Final Fantasy Versus 13, which would later become Final Fantasy 15, he at one point wanted it to be a musical. Yeah, you know, actually, I kind of would love to see that. Can someone give him money to do that, please?
Foreshadowing of the narrative device.
So during Chain of Memories development, Nomura wasn't merely satisfied with a basic port of KH1. No. No. Like the Disney princess within, he wanted more.
I want more.
So suddenly, bam, we are directly following the end of KH1 with a new setting, new characters, new enemies, new everything, while also rehashing all the same worlds as KH1. Except Deep Jungle, we'll get there later. TLDR, Nomura took what should have been a simple port and found a way to Frankenstein it into a new, mandatory story that was directly tied to the overarching plot, which is going to be a running theme for this franchise, I fear. So then, how does it hold up? Is the story any good? Is it worth slogging through the Disney shenanigans of KH1 all over again? Kinda? Mostly? Sorta? Point is, we're gonna delve into Chain of Memories, which thankfully is now accessible to all through the HD collections. We're gonna talk story, themes, gameplay, the whole 9 yards, and hope no one throws a 0 in to fuck with us. Chain of Memories survivors, you will get that joke, and no, you will not receive a veteran's discount. Before we begin, ciao. My name's Thomas, aka the Unicorn of War, and I talk about the media that I think about far too much, a lot. This is part of an ongoing series where I talk about the Kingdom Hearts series. Newbies, don't worry, this will be accessible to you, and oldies, you can also enjoy going back through these memories with me as we gaslight Sora together. And if you enjoy this video and would like to see more content like this from me, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications because YouTube hates creators. And also you can pledge your support from myself and the channel over on Patreon for exclusive rewards and access to the private Union of War Discord server. Now without further ado, let the chaos commence. So real quick, let's recap KH1 so we know where we're starting. Our story follows Sora, an ordinary boy who lives on the Destiny Islands with his friends Riku and Kairi. One day his world falls to darkness, just as many other worlds have. He is thankfully chosen by the mystical Keyblade to help save the worlds from the Heartless. Together with Donald and Goofy, Sora explores many worlds based on iconic Disney movies in order to save the universe, find Riku and Kairi, and maybe earn a trip to Disney World. The Heartless are led by a council of Disney villains headed by Maleficent, but themselves are actually advancing the goals of Ansem, a researcher who is directly responsible for the Heartless destroying countless worlds. And Riku is manipulated by both Maleficent and Ansem into fighting against Sora. We save Kairi and restore her heart, with Sora giving up his own heart to do so, becoming a Heartless in the process. God, what? The word heart, Jesus Christ. Kairi manages to turn Sora back to normal, and afterwards the trio defeats Ansem and frees Riku from his control. Alas, Riku, along with His Majesty King Michael Mouse himself, Jesus Christ, he's not Jesus, I'm just saying Jesus Christ because Jesus Christ, are lost in the realm of darkness in order to seal the doors of Kingdom Hearts, the heart of all worlds, to prevent a flood of darkness from pouring out. And so, while all the lost worlds are restored and Kairi has returned to Destiny Islands, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are still venturing to find Riku and Mickey, and also their gummy ship. They're still kind of stranded in the abyss between worlds, which apparently leads to a lush field underneath the blue sky. No clue where the hell this is, honestly. The fandom refers to it as the realm between or the world between worlds, whatever the hell that means. And Donald and Goofy have also inexplicably changed outfits, only to later change back into their KH1 attire. Okay, sure. I mean, this game is all about gaslighting, so might as well start now. And start subtle for maximum manipulation. Oh, also, on the note of sudden random changes, we need to address Sora now sounding like a grown man.
I'd like to see it too, along with any other worlds out there. I want to see them all.
One look at this castle, and I just knew. Our very best friends. They're here.
So Sora is voiced by Haley Joel Osment, who actually was a child when he started voicing Sora, but because Chain of Memories came out in 2008, Haley went through this thing called puberty. So now he sounds grown, but he's trying to also sound young, so it's very awkward and weird. Not to say he's doing a bad job, not at all, but like, especially right after KH1, you're like, Jesus. Anyway, Pluto is also here in this random field for some reason too, along with a weird man cloaked in black. No, he is not the super boss from KH1. Those are different men in the same cloak.
Along the road ahead lies something you need. However, in order to claim it, you must lose something that is dear to you.
This cloak gets used a lot, arguably far too much. We'll get there when we get there. So Pluto never appears again, so that's, okay, that was weird. But regardless, the path leads us to another horrifying looking dimension, where the road ends at an ominous castle, Castle Oblivion. Can I just say, the design of this place is peak. You've got all these sharp triangular shapes to suggest danger, but in a very cartoony way, and lots of overturned and sideways towers. The architecture doesn't make sense and doesn't look like it should work or stay standing, which actually reflects the way this castle's interiors work, warping your perceptions and your mind and even the basic tenets of reality. I mean, you basically are entering Oblivion when you go through those doors, so, you know. Victor Hugo would have loved the way this place uses architecture to tell a story. And then he probably would have wasted his entire advance partying. Oh, and the interiors of this castle are also all white. Like everything is white. Everything is white. It is whiter than the America that Stephen Miller dreams for. It's very elegant, but in a sterile, otherworldly way. You know that liminal space craze that the internet was obsessed with and then promptly took too far? Yeah, that's this castle. After all the trio has been through, you would hope they've wound up somewhere safe, only to end up somewhere that's at best indifferent and at worst hostile to anyone walking through the doors. As we enter, we are again approached by the man in black. To save us all time and headaches, his name is Marluxia, and he explains to us that this castle has a certain effect on its guests.
Ah, yes. Oh, yeah? I'll try some magic. Fire! Come on. Fire! Fire!
The moment you set foot in this castle, you forgot every spell and every ability you ever knew.
The moment that we entered, we lost all of our previous skills and abilities. We had to reset to level 1 somehow.
In this place, to find is to lose, and to lose is to find. That is the way in Castle Oblivion. Here you will meet people that you have known in the past, and you will meet people you miss.
Riku! You mean Riku's here?
If what you want is to find him,
It's clear that Marluxia has some ulterior motive for luring us here, but baits us into heading deeper inside with the promise of finding Riku and Mickey. To do so, Marluxia samples our memories and transforms them into cards.
I merely sampled your memories, and from them, I made this to reunite with those you hold dear. It is a promise for the reunion you seek. Hold the card to open the door, and beyond it a new world, to lose and claim anew, or to claim anew only to lose.
Yeah, cards are going to be the main motif of this game, and they're very much traumatizing to us. There are 13 floors of Castle Oblivion, with each floor based on a different world. Most are the same worlds from KH1, again with the exception of Deep Jungle, because Tarzan's copyright belongs to Edgar Rice Burroughs' estate, not Disney. Choke on it, mouse. Cue a celebratory cheer from all the KH1 survivors, thankful that they don't have to run back and forth across bad platforming gauntlets. These worlds are illusory, based on Sora's memories. Our first world is Traverse Town, but not only are the Leon, Yuffie, and Aerith here illusions, but they don't remember Sora, Donald, and Goofy. And after this floor, the trio completely forgets the characters of each world that they visit. The trio is steadily having their memories erased, seemingly by the castle itself, but in truth by another force up on the 13th floor. Even Jiminy's journal entries from the first game are gone. Oh yeah, we remember that Jiminy is here finally, and he actually has prominent roles in our conversations now. Better late than never, I guess. Don't get used to it. In addition to Marluxia, there are other folks in the same black cloak messing with us. There's Axel, everyone's favorite fiery redhead with literal flaming chakrams.
My show now, Keyblade Master. Who am I? Oh, my name's Axel. Got it memorized?
Sure.
Now that we're getting to know each other better, don't you go off and die on me now.
Larxene, a lightning-laced lady with a tongue as sharp as her knives.
You're not as bad as I thought. You really are a hero. A heartless hero.
Who asked you?
Oh, does it hurt because it's the truth? You are just a baby. And if you're gonna be a baby, then here you go.
And Vexen, an egotistical scientist even more frigid than his ice magic.
You obviously believe this Sora has much potential, but I remain unconvinced he is truly worth such coddling. I think an experiment would show if he really is of any value to us.
Why do all their names have X's, I hear you ask? Because it's cool. Or at least it was back in the 2000s. God, I wish Elon Musk didn't ruin the letter X. Or our country. And among all these figures is a demure twee girl in white, doodling little crayon illustrations of Sora, Donald, and Goofy. You would assume that they would be hyper-realistic masterpieces given, you know, that's how it usually goes when you've got an important artsy character, but nah, these look like a kindergartner's art that would be promptly hung on a proud parent's fridge, and I unironically love that. And also it's a bit more developmentally fitting for this character than you might initially think. Yeah. So before we continue with the story, let's talk gameplay, because it is radically different from KH1. After Traverse Town, you get to decide which world you want to visit. For floors 2 through 6, you get to pick from Olympus Coliseum, Wonderland, Agrabah, Halloween Town, and Monstro. For floors 7 through 10, it is Atlantica. Don't worry, there's no swimming controls. Neverland, Hollow Bastion, and the 100-Acre Wood. What about the remaining 3 floors? We'll get there when we get there. Each floor is made up of different interconnected rooms. You use map cards, which you gain from battles, in order to unlock each room. These cards also determine the kind of room you'll enter. Some create rooms with sleeping enemies, others create an infinite dark void filled with shadows, and some will create safe rooms with a save point. The goal is to make your way to golden event rooms, i.e. plot rooms, where you will watch a cutscene and sometimes fight enemies or a mini-boss. Upon reaching the final event room, you will fight the world's main boss, then be sent to a final save point before exiting to the lobby before the next floor. It is incredibly repetitive. The worlds in Kingdom Hearts have always felt kind of lifeless, more akin to standard video game levels than truly living worlds, but Chain of Memories structure and level design take it to a whole new level. You could argue that it tracks with the illusory nature of these worlds, that it reinforces while these may resemble each world's aesthetic, their boxy, formulaic nature is a constant reminder that it's all a facade, that we are still trapped within the white walls of Castle Oblivion, with just a thin veneer to give the impression of escaping its blinding walls. Which, okay, pop off visual storytelling, but it doesn't make it any more fun to actually play, especially when you have to do this 13 times. Most of the levels being rehashes of the KH1 worlds don't help either, especially with none of their cutscenes being voiced. There's nothing really new to be seen in most of these worlds. You just wind up thankful when you've finally gotten through one, since all the actual plot is kept in the segments between floors. There is a reason why all the cutscene compilations omit the Disney World scenes, fam. Now, as for the combat, while Chain of Memories remains a real-time action RPG, you don't get the command menu anymore, nor are basic attacks free. No attack is free anymore. No. Now, every single attack, be it a simple swing of the Keyblade, a magic spell, an item, or a summon, is represented by a card. Every card has a number stamped on it, ranging from 0 to 9. You use each card to perform an action, but the enemies have cards too, and when the cards clash, the one with the higher value wins. Let's say that you're fighting a Heartless. You both try to attack at the same time, and while its attack card is a 2, yours is a 3. This stops the enemy mid-attack, breaking their card and allowing you to get a hit in. However, if the Heartless has a 4 card or above, your card breaks, your attack is stopped, and your face gets scratched. If you're wondering, a card of the same value will cancel your enemy's attack, but your card will also break instead of being used. So, you know. 0 cards are the showstopper here. They can break any other card, which means if your enemy is using a 9 card or is using an attack of a higher number, we'll get there later, you can always use a 0 to stop them. However, 0s can also be broken by any other card when in use, meaning they can't always save you, and basically are best used when trying to stop an enemy from slaughtering you. I have low-key always hated this system, and it's the main reason why I and many other Kingdom Hearts fans have long abstained from this game, and instead opted to watch cutscene compilations on YouTube to keep up with the story. However, having forced myself through this game to acquire footage and give it a fair shot, I will admit, It's become an acquired taste, despite it forcing me to rely on my ancient nemesis, math. Well, I guess Nomura is also my nemesis, but also a Genius Strafi. I have layers. Once you get the hang of this mechanic, it does actually feel rewarding to outthink your opponent, especially if you can zero a deadly attack. And in truth, you can just spam a few solid techniques in regular battles and be just fine. Just make sure to never skip battles so you can get lots and lots of experience. Each time you level up, you can choose between having more storage for your card decks, more HP, or sometimes a new slate. I did my best to alternate between HP and deck storage, while also picking up new slates whenever they became available. Just remember, zero cards are your best friend, as are friend cards that let you call in Donald, Goofy, and any other party members depending on the floor. And while slates are a godsend, be careful with them. Slates allow you to string 3 cards together, adding all their values together, and sometimes letting you perform a special attack, like Sonic Blade or Strike Raid, a powerful spell, or a special team attack. You can't spam slates though. Not only can they still be broken by enemies' 0 cards or higher value slates, but each time they're used, the first card that you select will be permanently removed from your deck for the duration of battle. Younger me did not realize this playing the GBA version, which often resulted in me winding up with only 2 or 3 cards to rely on before getting murdered by Captain Hook. Oh, and enemy cards can be useful too. Those give special perks and power-ups during your battle, some more useful than others, like Oogie Boogie's card that gradually restores your HP, or the Shadow card boosting all your card values by 1. Fuck premium cards though. Premium cards have a golden value on them instead of a white one, and while they do look all fancy and sell for more when you trade them with Moogles, they can't be reloaded once they're used, so that's great. Honestly, whenever I got them, I just got rid of them the second I could, or I used them as sacrifices for slates. While I do have a lot of respect for how this system forces you to be more thoughtful about how you fight, more so than most other entries in the series, it is still an acquired taste, and I don't really blame anybody for not taking to it when it's so far removed from what they would have been used to from the main entries, especially right after KH1. As we make our way through the castle, while Sora may be losing most of his memories, he seems to be recalling something he had forgotten. Another girl from Destiny Islands.
I mean on the islands where I used to live. Besides Kairi and Riku, there was one other girl I was friends with. The 4 of us played together all the time.
The trio we had always known, Sora, Riku, and Kairi, was actually a quartet. The 4th girl, Naminé, was quite shy according to Sora's memory and an avid artist.
She was quiet and always drawing. When we'd go to the beach, she'd draw a picture instead of swimming. Sometimes she'd draw us too. She was really good.
She's really good.
I remember Riku and I fighting over who she'd draw next. But one day, she was gone. Just like that. I think the grown-ups knew the reason. I remember crying after she was gone.
At first, this seems innocent. Odd, but it's easy enough to rationalize, since Sora mentions her vanishing when he and Riku were still young. But later on, the quartet again becomes a trio, with the memories of Naminé beginning to supplant those of Kairi.
A good luck charm Kairi gave me. It's why I could never forget Kairi. Am I right, Kairi? Huh? Oh?
3 hours later.
We 3 were never apart. Me and Riku and Naminé.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Even Kairi's charm changes forms, and Sora claims he got it from Naminé instead of Kairi.
Yes, she's the one that gave you that tacky little good luck charm. Not that you even bothered to remember. No surprise, seeing as you also couldn't remember her name. Talk about heartless. I can't believe you. It'd serve you right if I decided to smash this piece of junk.
Let it go! Naminé gave me this. It's very important to me.
Oh, it's important to you. 10 seconds ago, you didn't even know what it was.
She's got a point.
Things get messier when Riku makes his presence known.
You should ask your memories. Why Naminé disappeared from the islands?
Did I do something? Is it my fault?
Anyone who goes near her goes through me!
We're supposed to be friends!
Please, Sora. Since when have you ever cared about me? Naminé's not the only one who's sick of looking at you. So am I!
It may have helped us close the door to Kingdom Hearts, but he is now openly hostile to us, even though he's free of Ansem's influence. He claims to have promised to protect Naminé and is desperate to keep us from reaching her. So much so, we wind up having to fight him 4 separate times. And apparently he also has a copy of Naminé's charm. That's interesante.
If a shooting star comes this way, I will protect you.
You made a promise with a toy sword.
How do you know about that?
That was the promise I made to her that night.
Don't lie! You weren't the one there that night.
You're the one who wasn't there. That was when she gave her good luck charm to me. See?
Where did you get that? Good try. That must be a fake. I've got the real one right here.
2 of them?
Fake should be destroyed!
The figures in black, collectively known as the Organization, claim to be holding Naminé captive here in the castle and taunt Sora over whether he can save her if he had just forgotten about her until now.
You see, the bad guys are holding her captive, somewhere deep inside the castle. And you obviously are the hero, so you have to go save her. Although... I'm a bad guy, so you have to go through me.
But as we progress, we see these 4 seem to be quarreling among themselves about what to do with Sora. Vexen is the one who has apparently turned Riku against us. On the 11th floor, he brings us to a new original world, Twilight Town. Like the name suggests, this city is cloaked in an eternal sunset, a tranquil city built into a mountainside with trams running everywhere. Sora doesn't remember this place at all, and Vexen claims that this is because these memories are from the other side of Sora's heart.
Look what I found. A card crafted from all the memories that are locked in the other side of your heart.
Now, this is actually some pretty dope foreshadowing for Kingdom Hearts 2. I really appreciate Twilight Town's inclusion in hindsight, but honestly, it's far too short of a floor for my liking. Kind of a wild critique, but like, the one time we could get something that's not a rehash of a KH1 world, they decide to cut it short. Okay, sure, alright. All that's here is a boss fight with Vexen. We don't get a chance to meet any of the town's residents, which, I mean, we could. This would be a great chance to introduce characters that we'll meet later on in KH2, and also use that to further mess with Sora's head about which memories are true and which are false.
I'm sure I don't know this place, but it's starting to feel like it's familiar to me.
You must have come here sometime before.
No, and that's what's strange. With Naminé, my memories sort of came drifting back to me, a little piece at a time. But not now. It's not memories, just this idea that I must have been here before.
Upon reaching a mysterious mansion in the woods outside town, we again confront Vexen.
Your memories of Naminé or your feelings here? Which of the 2 of these is more real, I wonder? The memory's wiles can be cruel. In its silence, we forget. In its obsession, it binds our hearts. It is on the other side of your heart that the memory of this place exists.
You're wrong. I don't know this place.
If you remain bound by the chain of memories and refuse to believe what is truly found inside your heart, then throw it away. You are not a Keyblade master, just a slave to twisted memories.
Vexen tries to warn us about becoming Marluxia's pawn, but before he can say anything else, Axel appears and, eliminates him.
If you continue to seek the girl Naminé, the shackles will tighten. You'll lose your heart and end up becoming Marluxia's pawn!
Did I catch you at a bad time?
Axel, why?
I came to stop you from talking too much. By eliminating your existence. We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are. But now you can be nothing instead of just being a nobody. You're off the hook.
No! Please don't! I don't want to.
Goodbye.
What are you? What are you people?
Don't know. I wonder about that myself.
Yeah, Sora just witnessed a murder. And a pretty fire murder, to say the least. I'll be here all week. At this point, Donald and Goofy are a bit wary of continuing, which infuriates Sora. To Sora, every moment that they stand still is another moment where Naminé is put in further danger. Yet Donald and Goofy can't shake how strange it is that this is the only thing Sora seems to be remembering. Fed up, Sora ditches them, and you are left completely without their help on the 12th floor.
I don't understand what's going on.
Let's just keep moving, okay? It doesn't matter.
It does matter. How can two of you have the same memory? You can't both be right.
I'm wrong. Fine, then don't believe me.
That's not what he meant. We're just kinda worried.
Then let's ask Naminé. That should clear it up. Look, we don't have time to sit around, so let's go!
Sora, what happened to you?
What's that mean?
Well, you always get real touchy when it comes to stuff about Naminé. But before we came to this castle, you didn't even remember what her name was.
Now Naminé's the only thing you talk about.
It doesn't make sense. Maybe you should just slow down and think ahead about some of these things.
Think ahead? What is the matter with you guys? Do you want me to abandon her?
No, that's not it.
Then do whatever you want. You can lay back and take a nap for all I care. I'm going to find Naminé.
Sora!
It's kind of rare to see Sora this angry, at least at his friends. He's considered this pure, sweet ball of sunshine and friendship, so it's really compelling to watch him lose his temper and write off his friends this way when he's frustrated with them. It's the kind of flaw that I really wanted to see more of back in KH1. The 12th and penultimate floor is Destiny Islands. Here we get to see our Final Fantasy cameo friends, along with a far chiller, less homicidal Riku, who all tease Sora about the girl that he's looking for, conveniently not mentioning her name. I must also say the Destiny Islands theme that they use here is gorgeous. It's the same melody, but a bit slower, with some somber piano to make this feel bittersweet. It's like a tainted memory, made melancholic by how far away the real islands seem after all we've been through. It's like the music is reflecting the way that we've lost our childhood innocence. Damn you, Yoko Shimamura, you genius. Naturally, this floor's boss is Darkseid, as the islands once more fall to darkness. It is here that Naminé, briefly escaping the organization's view thanks to Axel, reveals herself to Sora and exposes the truth. She, in fact, was never Sora's friend, nor is she from the islands.
I don't really exist inside your heart. I don't exist in anyone's heart. I never have existed anywhere.
Weren't we inseparable? Always together? But then you had to go away. I came here so I'd never lose you again.
Was it really me you wanted to see?
Of course it was! I know I've forgotten a lot of things in this castle, but never anything about you. Look! You gave this to me, didn't you?
Think just one more time about who's most special to you. Call out to that piece of memory that glimmers faintly deep inside your heart. No matter how far away the light gets, your heart's voice will always reach it.
Who's most special to me? That's an easy one. It's you, Naminé. Oh.
For reasons we will never fully go into but will suggest in KH2, Naminé has the power to manipulate Sora's memories and the memories of those connected to him. So it was never Castle Oblivion erasing our memories, but Naminé.
I took the people and memories that were inside Sora's heart, and little by little I replaced them with false memories. Sora never really promised me anything. Me being with him on the islands, that was a lie, just like everything else. We never met. I was never Sora's friend.
And you were never anything more. Either.
No. You see, in all of your true memories, I was never really there.
Naminé partially did this under the organization's orders, but did truly want Sora's friendship and affection due to her crippling loneliness. Riku tries to attack us one last time, but Naminé manages to stop him.
Riku! Stop!
You are through!
I said stop!
Riku?
Prompting Larxene to appear and expose another truth. This isn't the real Riku. This is actually a replica created by Vexen.
That thing lying there is just a puppet that Vexen made as an experiment. No more than a toy. Its memories with Naminé were just planted, not real. Yup, that means all this time it's been picking fights with you over memories that were counterfeit, trumped up, and completely bogus. Isn't that the truth, Naminé? Oh, so cute. But behind this little face, you do awful things. You're so stupid. Don't you get it now? That's what Naminé's powers are about. She can enter, rearrange, and even create new memories of anything, even things that never happened. The girl you've been trying to protect all this time is really a manipulative witch who shackles people's hearts. Lies, lies, all lies. Just Naminé's illusions, nothing more. Binding you in the chains of your own memory was central to our trap. It makes me tingle to think how easily you were duped. So close to it, we were almost there. This was our only chance to turn the Keyblade Master into our puppet, but that jerk Axel, he used Naminé to betray us.
How did Vexen create a replica? More on that later. Oh, also, for a future reference, in this series, and this confused me for the longest time, a replica doesn't mean that it has to be a clone per se. Replica on its own just means an artificial life form that can then have memories or a heart or a personality implanted onto it. So in this case, it is kind of a clone of Riku, but it's more like replica means an artificial being that has had like Riku's data implanted onto it in the image of Riku. It's a whole thing, whatever. Repliku, as the fandom calls him, does have a brief struggle with his own identity, but I do like this twist from Sora's perspective. Though he's not born of Sora's memories like everything else here, I do like to think that in terms of this narrative, this is essentially Sora having to confront his fear of Riku permanently changing and now hating him. Basically, that Repliku is a manifestation of Sora's trauma of Riku having betrayed him. Donald and Goofy return in the nick of time to help us defeat Larxene, and of course, Larxene has to go out with an iconic line.
No, I refuse to lose to such a bunch of losers. I think I'm fainting. No, this isn't the way. I won't allow.
Afterwards, we clear the air with Naminé, and Sora, being his sweet, trusting self, can't find it in himself to fully blame or hate Naminé even after what she's done.
I can fix everything if we go to the 13th floor. But Marluxia, if I didn't obey, he said I'd be locked in this castle forever. I've been alone for so long.
So you did what he told you to do because you were lonely?
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. Please don't cry.
Of course. I know I really don't have the right to.
That's not what I meant.
What?
I'm really not happy about you messing with my memories. But, you know, I can't really get mad at you for it either. These memories you gave me. In my head, I know they're lies, but they still feel right. Like the promise I made. I said I would protect you and that I wouldn't make you cry. If you cry now, I'll feel guilty, like I let you down. So don't cry. Please. until I get my memories back. Smile and try to be happy. It's easier on me that way.
Sora.
Oh, brother, that's a bit much.
It's okay. Sora always gets like this every time he's around a girl.
Aw, cut it out.
And truth be told, I'm in the same boat. I just love Naminé so much, and I really enjoy the nuances of her character, and I also grieve the fact that she gets to do more than Kairi ever does. Part of me kind of wishes that Naminé was allowed to be our big bad. One of my friends has actually pitched this idea of her being a villain, doing all she can to force her way into Sora's heart, potentially causing havoc among the Disney worlds to literally rewrite the narrative to her liking. You know, I do love me a tragic villain. But for what we've got, I do enjoy this sad little tale. But if you are wondering how Naminé has these powers in the first place, you're gonna have to wait till the KH2 video. What I will tell you is that she isn't from Castle Oblivion, despite both sharing a love for the color white and forgetfulness. She does have a genuine connection to Sora and Kairi, which grants her these mysterious powers.
Weird and mysterious powers.
It's less about why she has the powers though, and more what they do for the narrative. So I can forgive the haziness. Sadly, Sora is still an idiot, so he, the duck, and the dog head to the 13th floor to face Marluxia, leaving Naminé behind, only for Marluxia to kidnap Naminé and use her as a human shield when Axel turns on him.
Naminé? Marluxia is gonna be up there, so maybe you'd better stay down here.
A few moments later.
Sure, just leave her alone in this big empty castle. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. There's a bit of a rift going on with the organization. Marluxia and Larxene were plotting to use Naminé to turn Sora into their pawn so that they could exploit the power of the Keyblade through him and basically stage a coup within the organization, as there are many more members outside of Castle Oblivion that we'll meet in KH2.
Nice work. I say good riddance to that blabbermouth.
Marluxia, you used Vexen to test Sora's strength, didn't you?
Not just Sora's, it was yours too. We weren't sure if you actually had it in your bones to take out a fellow member. Well, I guess that you did. It's time to join up. Taking over the organization will be like child's play with the three of us.
So that's where Sora comes in.
Axel and Vexen were against this coup, but Axel had to kill Vexen in order to keep Marluxia from suspecting him.
Don't forget, Sora is the key. We need him if we're going to take over the organization.
I know that you're in on it too, but keep it under your hood, at least until the time is right.
You would have been wise to have done the same, Larxene.
And also because Vexen was annoying.
Goodbye.
Naturally, Sora can't let Axel hurt Naminé.
Is that your shield? Won't do you any good, I'm afraid.
Are you listening, Sora?
Oh?
Axel says he's willing to harm Naminé to get me. You won't let that happen, will you?
Oh, come now. You're Marluxia's puppet already?
After I finish you, he's next.
Now, Sora, we've got more in common than you might think. I'd really rather not fight you. But I can't dishonor the organization, now can I?
And after a clash, Axel disappears. Don't worry, Axel stands, he's not dead. Just wait till KH2. I keep saying that. Jesus.
It was worth saving you after all.
Saving me? What do you mean?
Sorry, I would hate to kill the suspense.
Axel!
We then head to face off with Marluxia through our traditional method of multiple phases, and terrifying giant forms with kick-ass Reaper motifs.
Imbeciles. You would knowingly shackle your heart with a chain of memories born of lies?
Briefly, I just want to add to fandom consensus Now, Marluxia is very pretty. I am also just obsessed with this flower reaper motif he's got going on. The big scythe that leaves behind pink rose petals, which match the pink hair. I love a good blend of the feminine and the lethal. You know, especially in a male character for maximum queer energy. His smooth voice is also doing wonders. Oh, yeah, also, Repliku is still kicking, if anybody cares.
What can you possibly think I ever had? Both my body and my heart are fake, but there is one memory I'll keep. Even if it's just a lie, whether it was a phantom promise or not, I will protect Naminé.
He helps us to briefly fight Marluxia and then runs off, determined to prove that he's a real boy and his own person. How? You'll see soon enough. With the organization defeated, Naminé can now undo the damage she has done. She can restore Sora, Donald, and Goofy's memories, but at a cost. For one, it is going to take a very long time, during which the trio are going to need to basically enter comas. But we do have conveniently comfy and aesthetically pleasing machines in the shape of lotus pods for them to sleep in. So that's cool, at least. God, the aesthetics in these games, oh my god, no wonder I'm an art bitch. But the true cost here is the choice that we must make. Either Sora can accept to lose the memories he has already lost, or he can go back to how he was, but forget his time here in Castle Oblivion.
You won't be able to remember anything about what happened here.
Not even you?
Sora, you have a choice. You can lose your memories of this castle and reclaim your old ones, or keep your memories here and give up the memories that you've lost.
Do I have to choose?
Yes.
Make me like I was.
Oh, okay. Nobody needs to keep a bunch of memories that aren't real, right? You want to remember all of the people who are really important to you. Anybody would choose that.
You know, we gotta make sure he doesn't reference things in KH2 that will confuse all the normal people who decided to skip this game after all. As expected, Sora asks to have his memory restored, but promises to find a way to thank Naminé for all she's done, even if he can't remember her.
Goodbye.
No, not goodbye. When I wake up, I'll find you. And then there will be no lies. We're gonna be friends for real. Promise me, Naminé.
You're going to forget making that promise.
If the chain of memories comes apart, the links will still be there, right? So the memory of our promise will always be inside me somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, it's a promise.
Good. Until later.
To try and help, Jiminy decides to write a simple message in his journal for when they eventually awaken. Thank Naminé. Once we go to sleep, we then get some new scenes in the credits. We again get to see Twilight Town, this time with a group of 3 friends walking past a blonde, spiky-haired boy who sort of resembles Sora. Interessante. Compared to the first game, Chain of Memories' story is far more character-driven. Not to say there wasn't compelling character drama in the first game, but it's far more at the forefront this time around, resulting in a more contained, intimate experience. It does amuse me reading interviews where the developers mention Chain of Memories being more lighthearted than KH1, because that could not be further from the truth. What we have here is a story centered around Sora's unraveling, where his memory and, by extension, his own sense of self are methodically, insidiously undone. Even the ending, while hopeful, still feels incredibly tragic. Though Sora does promise to see Naminé again, when Sora asks to be made the way that he was, I really appreciate those long, silent pauses where everybody just sits with his answer. You can feel the pain of everyone in the room. For Sora, knowing this is going to hurt Naminé. For Naminé, knowing she's likely going to be all alone again. And Donald and Goofy and Jiminy, who did try to warn Sora about all this beforehand, but I think still don't hold any ill will towards Naminé. The whole memory theme is such a brilliant evolution from the first game. Here, memory is what gives us shape and informs what's most important to us, who is most important to us. But unlike what most of us would think, memory is nowhere near as reliable as we'd like to believe. When we remember something, we're not searching our brain for photographic representations. Rather, we're actually recreating those events in our head, which then means that those recreations are subject to all of our unconscious biases and flaws. If your memory is lost or manipulated, are you still you? What if you forget the people who were once closest to you? What if their images become twisted and distorted, changing them into someone else entirely? Or what if someone new comes along and unknowingly, you project the memory of someone you miss dearly onto them? To quote KH1 Sora, "Is any of this for real or not?" It is so disturbing watching Sora and the others head further into this delusion, knowing it will be harder for them to escape with each floor they ascend. And yet you as the player can't help but push them along, curious as to whether these reawakened memories are true, whether Naminé truly was someone from their past that conveniently wasn't around for the first game's events, or if she's somebody else entirely. I just absolutely adore the dark implications of this story, as they center on a real-world fear many people have regarding to what can happen to their memory as they age. And it also does wonders for all the characters involved. That critique of characters coming off as underdeveloped or bland in the first game, not the case anymore. Each and every character, even the ones who don't stick around for very long, is full of personality, or at least interesting vibes. Sora himself gets to be a far more spirited, messy protagonist. His banter with Donald and Goofy between floors is leagues beyond anything in the first game.
But when I turned into a Heartless, who was the one who took forever to notice and kept clobbering me?
How come you couldn't forget about that?
It helps to convince you that these three have become best friends. Even Jiminy's inclusion as the voice of reason, who tries to get through to Sora the way that he would to Pinocchio, helps to make the characters feel more fleshed out.
Sora, that was no way to...
Keep it to yourself!
Seeing Sora's hatred towards the organization members rising with each floor, his pain at what he thinks is Riku again turning on him, and his frustration with Donald and Goofy when they try to pump the brakes on their journey, all of it really sells the fact that Sora is losing his composure, that his usual cheery, optimistic energy is not immune to the organization's schemes, and in fact, is what's actually being used to undermine him. But through it all, Sora does come around, and I do appreciate that he doesn't take his anger out on Naminé. Again, it's clear what she did was wrong, but it is also clear that she isn't malicious like the organization, and she's going out of her way to try and atone. It's that sincerity that I think proves to Sora that Naminé is worth trusting. Even if the memories are fake, the friendship that forms between Sora and Naminé when the truth comes out is real enough that it's worth fighting for.
Naminé, erase Sora's memory.
But if I do that...
That's right. Sora's heart will be destroyed.
His heart destroyed?
You can do that!
I'd rather have preferred him unmarred. But he can be rebuilt, more to my liking, with time. Naminé, do it.
No. Sora forgave me even when I deceived him. So how could I destroy his heart? There's no way! I don't care what happens to me. I won't hurt Sora. I won't do it!
Then you will.
Do it, Naminé! I don't care. You can erase my memory.
Sora, why'd you say that?
Because who will I look after if I don't have Naminé? So just do it. Erase my memories. Destroy my heart. I promised. I'll always protect you. You have to believe me.
Sora.
I don't need any memories to take on someone like Marluxia.
You bet. Even if Sora forgets it all. Goofy and I won't forget.
Donald's right. He and I can remember everything for Sora.
See? I'll have all my friends' memories, so I can piece my own together again.
You ignorant fool.
Speaking of which, I would die for Naminé. I'm okay with them being vague about her origins or where her power comes from, largely because we still have the critical information to understand her and her role in the story. Lonely girl, wants friends, and manipulates Sora's memories. Simple. The character drama that comes from her is so compelling, it overrides any kind of confusion over the minutia of how all this works. That all said, I am quite sad for both Naminé and Kairi. Naminé because the series never quite knows what to do with her after this point. She has her moments, but nothing that comes close to the story here. And Kairi because, what do you mean Naminé gets to do more in this one game and have an actual character arc than Kairi gets in the entire goddamn franchise? I don't hold this against Naminé, but rather the writers of these games. What did Kairi ever do to you people? Now onto the antagonists, who are the real show stealers. The organization has more members we'll meet later on, but for Sora's story here, these four do plenty to keep things interesting. Firstly, their designs. The Black Cloak is absolutely overused in later games, but to signal that these characters belong to the same group, it's an easy shorthand that also makes for pure, unadulterated, what's under the hood energy when they're hiding their face. There's slight differences to each of their physiques and mannerisms, even with the cloaks, that do make it easier to tell who's who at a glance. And this may be a minor thing, but the Black Cloaks also stand out really well against the pure white halls of Castle Oblivion. It almost makes them look like malevolent phantoms demanding your attention. But of course, the real design differences come from the wild anime hair and the eccentric weaponry. Axel is a tall, lanky boy whose entire demeanor is cool skater dude who treats wholesome activities like they're breaking the law.
Axel!
Yo, Sora!
King of my heart.
Apparently he was the fan favorite of the developers, and you can tell, since he's the wild card keeping everybody on their toes, even his fellow villains.
Whew. Throwing that battle wore me out.
Really? It looked to me like you just plain lost.
How dare you! You don't appreciate the nuances of
an ungainly effort.
Every organization member gets their own elemental affinity to go with any cool hair colors or unique weapons. For Axel, his fire element is actually a nice contrast with how generally laid back he is. He's got the spiky red hedgehog hair, of course, along with teardrop tattoos beneath his eyes. These kinds of tattoos tend to carry a lot of disturbing meanings, but in truth, I see them as harbingers of the many tears that Axel is going to shed alongside me as these games destroy us both. And his weapons, the dual red chakrams that can carry his flames, are so fucking cool. Good for both close and ranged combat, and the way that Axel holds them helps him to come across as very playful and mischievous, even if he's trying to kill you. Larxene is goddamn vicious.
I should tell you that I'm in an extremely foul mood.
She is a cat who enjoys playing with her food, in this case with hurtful words, lightning bolts, and a limitless number of electric knives.
You have no heart! You're just a toy!
They're not like electric knives, they're knives that have a bit of lightning around them, you know, like electric. She's terrible, but that also means she brings tons of conflict into whatever scene she's in, and I live for the resulting fireworks.
So what's going on, Vexen? Your Riku was supposed to counter Sora. What's he waiting for? Where is he?
He's hiding somewhere to lure Sora deeper into the castle, right? I suppose we should just leave it at that, you know.
Aha! Oh, I see now. I would have never guessed that. So sorry, Vexen.
Silence!
Predictable response. Forget it. Men without hearts are so boring.
You're one to talk.
Vexen has always creeped me out. He tries to be the organization's voice of reason, talking about science and experiments and logic, but he's actually a snivelly, cowardly little weasel, obsessed with his own ego.
I think an experiment would show if he really is of any value to us.
Well, here we go again. It's just an excuse, so you can carry out your little experiments, that's all.
I'm a scientist. Experiments are what I do. Yes.
He may be loyal to the organization, but it is very clear he views the success of his experiments as proof of his superiority. Even him focusing on having a higher rank in the organization, to me, suggests an obsession with image, and needing to look down on others.
Vexen, the simple fact is that your project was a failure. You'd best not disappoint us again.
Disappoint you? You go too far! In this organization, you're number 11. I'm number 4, and I will not have you!
I've been entrusted this castle in Naminé by our leader. Defying me will be seen as treason against the organization.
Even Vexen's use of his shield kind of ties into this fixation of defending himself and his self-image. He can still fight with his ice magic, which I think also goes well with this, since these kinds of ranged attacks means he never has to get up close and personal with his target. And finally, Marluxia. Marluxia was originally going to be a woman, but as much as I wish there were more female characters in this franchise, I am so grateful Marluxia got to be a guy. Having a male character who is super strong while also boasting fabulous pink hair and a pink flower motif makes him super unique and a queer icon. You're so gorgeous. I love an evil, beautiful man. I think we all do. And again, the idea of having a Reaper character with a pink and green scythe, making it look as though it was grown in a garden, who can also attack with storms of flower petals. It helps Marluxia to feel more memorable than he would have been if he was just a standard Reaper with the standard black and gray scythe. I do wish Marluxia had more interactions with Sora though. He's always quite commanding when talking with his fellow organization members, telling them that it's his way or the grave way. But as for why he wants to take over the organization or even an interesting dynamic with Sora, neither really exists. He's mostly just here to serve as our big bad, which functions well enough, but does take away from what he could have been beyond just his aesthetics and his beauty. Now, there is much more to the organization that meets the eye, not only in who their superior is or who else is among their ranks, but also in what exactly they are.
What are you people?
Don't know. I wonder about that myself.
At times, they refer to themselves and Naminé as nobodies, capitalized.
You have my sympathies from the heart. But don't waste your time. We nobodies can never hope to be somebodies. We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are. But now you can be nothing instead of just being a nobody.
This term doesn't get explained until KH2, and I am also going to leave you wondering what exactly it means until then. But I don't really think you need to know exactly to appreciate Chain of Memory's story. In fact, you probably already have a strong inkling about it, given the way that they all, especially Axel and Naminé, talk about and carry themselves. All of this said, I think I'm most sad that this story has always been locked away, chained you might say, behind the off-putting card battle system, and especially the tedious structure of the KH1 rehashes. While the bits of story between floors are interesting, I don't think they're enough early on to justify how maddening the whole process can be. And even so, I don't think the story is nearly as compelling when just watching cutscene compilations on YouTube, because it is very clear that these scenes were written to be played out in bite-sized bits between chunks of gameplay. If we must keep all the Disney worlds from KH1, I at least wish the writers had some fun with them beyond slight alterations and arbitrary nods to the theme of memory. Shake up how the memory theme plays out in each world, beyond just everybody forgetting each other. For Traverse Town, it does work for Sora and Ko to remember Leon, Yuffie, and Aerith, only for those three to forget them. It establishes how Castle Oblivion is supposed to work, and helps to tug on your heartstrings a bit. Especially with Aerith's ominous warning at the end of the level, which you can read as Naminé trying to warn Sora, or perhaps even a part of Sora deep down trying to warn himself. But that also would get kind of boring with each floor, so instead, maybe on some floors, characters' roles get reversed. Maybe in Wonderland, Alice actually is guilty of stealing the Queen of Hearts' memories, and is in a role similar to Naminé. Maybe in Agrabah, Aladdin and Jasmine are the villains, while Jafar is the misunderstood good guy. The story is twisted, you could say.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Oh, that's all right. Just try to keep your fat face out of that motherfucking book.
Did you know they make these things in sweatshops? Where have you been?
Spinning silk in your private sweatshop, mistress.
You actually work in one of those?
Yes.
That's supporting a corrupt System, you're a part of the problem. Yes, Princess!
Maybe in Atlantica, Ariel and all of Atlantica view Sora as a villain because he's a human, and we have to turn to Ursula for help. Ways to turn these stories on their heads so that it's all fresh, while also true to the way that altered memories can completely change people and their dynamics with each other. Ultimately, as much as I enjoy the original story here in Chain of Memories and its gameplay has become an acquired taste, I have zero desire to ever replay it. I was tempted to play the GBA version for comparisons, but I can't do another 20 to 30 hours of it. I can't. I just don't think that it's worth slogging through this monotonous, tedious structure again, when so much of the first experience already felt like that through most of the Disney worlds. I get why there are 13 floors to go through as a reference to events in KH2, but if Chain of Memories was going to be this way, I really wish it either made those interesting changes I mentioned beforehand, or that it was more streamlined. That all said, we do have a slightly more streamlined experience to enjoy. That's right, our story's not over, folks, because now that Sora's journey has ended, it's time to embark on Riku's adventure.
I smell you, Ansem.
Once you beat Sora's campaign, you get the chance to play as Riku. That's right, Riku has his own storyline here, which is referred to as Reverse Rebirth. We had to get the alliteration in. So after sealing the door to Kingdom Hearts, Riku has been left floating aimlessly through the darkness. A mysterious, comically evil disembodied voice resounds, offering him a card, which takes him to Castle Oblivion.
Stay asleep.
Who's there?
You should remain asleep here, between light and dark.
The king! Where's the king? Together we close the door to darkness. After that?
You came drifting here by yourself. You did not have the strength to overcome the darkness. Or maybe you were close to it.
As if I'm some kind of demon.
Here, blanketed by the darkness, sleep is safety. Sleep is eternal. But it is a door to the truth. Take it and your sleep ends as you take the first step toward the truth. But know this, the truth will bring you pain. Will you still go? There is no return to the security of sleep.
This seemed like a boring place to take a nap anyway.
That was very well said, Riku.
A door to the truth, huh?
Unlike Sora though, Riku has arrived in the lowest basement and must now work his way up to the ground floor. The gameplay here is mostly the same as Sora's, with a few changes. For one, Riku's card decks are predetermined, so no customizing. It is honestly nice to not have to worry about that this time around, I'm not gonna lie. If you're worried about having no cure cards, don't, since Mickey can heal you when summoned through his friend card. More on Mickey later. Oh, and through card breaks, Riku can also assume his dark form, kicking even more ass than usual. While Riku ventures through all the same worlds as Sora, minus the 100-acre wood, his are completely devoid of people. The voice explains that since Riku never bothered to meet the people of these worlds, he has no memories of them and is now completely alone. Essentially, each floor is now just making your way to the boss, streamlining the whole process, while also mocking Riku for his apathy and lack of friendship. Vexen is down here, along with two other organization members, Zexion and Lexius.
I picked up 2 scents. In the castle's lowest basement, the scent was very similar to that of the Superior.
And yet, not exactly the same, was it?
I have identified the scent. It is Riku.
Has he emerged from the realm of darkness?
His existence, it was once doubled in the darkness.
Fascinating. That's why you mistook him for the Superior. The dark power given to Riku facilitated his escape from its realm. Marluxia is already using Naminé's unique powers to meddle with Sora's heart.
Without even bothering to consult us.
It seems he desperately wants the Keyblade Master for himself. What a foolish plan indeed. Sora's is not such an interesting existence. The entity that holds true value is Riku, the hero of darkness.
They're not all that important, gonna be real, but Vexen has a brief clash with Riku.
Are you with Ansem?
You are half correct. Let us say that he is not the Ansem with which you are familiar. He is Ansem, and he is not Ansem. Perhaps a nobody best conveys the idea.
Riddles were never my thing. Try again.
He belongs to neither the light nor the dark, but walks the twilight between. You also stand in between the light and the darkness. It appears we have much in common.
That allows him to create Repliku through his data.
I'm an exact replica of you that Vexen made from your data. So you're a fake me, not a fake! I don't care if you're real. You're not better. We share the same body and the same talents. There is one easy way to tell us apart, though. Unlike you, I fear nothing.
Sure, Jan.
Anyhow, the voice haunting Riku actually belongs to Ansem.
Accept the darkness. You have no choice. If you are to serve me again.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Sadly, it's not Billy Zane, though, because I guess we just couldn't afford him anymore. Richard Epcar, his replacement, is fine. The main issue is that his performance comes off as overly cartoony.
You meddlesome king!
Whereas Billy Zane was subdued, thus making him feel more intimidating, especially when he would scream in battle for contrast.
Submit!
Epcar is just trying too hard to make Ansem sound scary all the time, and it really falls flat for me. So while Ansem may have been destroyed, he is still haunting Riku, and is trying to make Riku give into the darkness so that he can possess him again and revive himself. Riku is still struggling with his reliance on darkness, which is also an extension of his guilt for all of his actions in KH1. Oh, and Riku is also suffering from a heightened sense of smell, as he is now able to literally smell the darkness of other people.
Darkness is my enemy, and so are you for reeking of that awful smell!
What does darkness smell like? I would assume like a Taco Bell public restroom, and I refuse to elaborate any further. Thankfully, King Mickey is here to offer some help in spirit form. Okay.
Your Majesty?
That's right! Remember, Riku, you're not alone!
At the very least, it does mean there's at least one friendly face among this rogues gallery of villains trying to kill Riku and/or get him to fall back into darkness. Lexi briefly fights Riku to try and get him to call on the darkness, just flat out attacking him.
You're another one of those nobodies.
To possess your powers and yet fear the darkness. What a waste.
I do not fear it.
I sense that you do. You're also capable of controlling the darkness. Cast away your useless fear. Open your heart. Embrace the darkness.
And if I say no?
Then you lose both light and darkness and disappear.
But he doesn't have much luck, as Riku vanquishes him right off the bat.
Too slow. You are the superiors. Forgive me, Zexion.
Definitely didn't take me multiple tries, definitely not. Zexion tries to do the same thing, albeit more insidiously.
The keeper of this castle, Marluxia, has just been felled by the Keyblade Master.
Keyblade? You mean Sora? Sora is here?
Yes. Want to see him? But can you face him?
What's that mean?
The world of darkness and some shadow still nest within your heart. Do you plan to face Sora like that? Are you not ashamed? Sora's fate is to battle the darkness. He must oppose anyone who hosts the dark. In other words, it's you. If you don't believe the words I say, then you had best see the truth with your own eyes.
This card. This is our...
Yes. It is your home.
He sends Riku to a recreation of the Destiny Islands, forcing him to reckon with the fact that it fell to darkness because of him.
This is... that night!
All of the islands you grew up on were sundered, scattered. Many hearts were forever lost to the darkness. Because of what you did! You hated being an islander, so you opened the door to darkness and destroyed the islands. It was you! You were pulled into the darkness then, and now you belong to the darkness.
You might have guessed this already, but Riku is the one who opened the door, allowing darkness to flood Destiny Islands and destroy it. An illusion of Sora attacks Riku, claiming that Riku has irreversibly turned into a monster, and tries to make Riku fade away into light.
Sora, it's me! Oh! What? Don't you recognize me?
Yeah, I recognize you. I can see exactly what you've become. How can the light hurt you? Riku, have you really become a creature of the dark? You're not Riku anymore. You're just a pawn of the darkness. So be it. It's time for you to face the light!
Kairi's voice encourages Riku to fear neither the light nor the darkness.
Fading away. Into the light.
You won't fade. So don't run from the light. And don't fear the darkness. Because both will make you stronger.
Darkness too?
Yeah, strength that's yours. The darkness inside your heart, it's vast and it's deep. But if you can, truly stare into it and never try to look away, you won't be afraid of anything again.
All this time I've tried to push the darkness away.
You've gotta just remember to be brave. Know that the darkness is there and don't give in. If you do that, you will gain strength. The kind that's unlike any other. You'll be able to escape the deepest darkness.
And I'll be able to see through the brightest light.
Follow the darkness. It'll show you the way to your friends.
Can I face them?
You don't want to?
You know I do. Of course. And I will. With my strength. My dark strength. Darkness!
And when Riku calls upon the darkness, he's able to break through, revealing this Sora to actually be Zexion in disguise. I will say I am sad that this fake Sora didn't get to be a boss, but I do still appreciate this moment. Zexion, now defeated, retreats, only to be murdered by Repliku on Axel's orders.
We can use this Riku to defeat the real one.
Wouldn't you like to be real? All you need is the kind of power that the real Riku doesn't have. If you can get that, you can be a new person, not Riku, nor anybody else. You won't just be a copy of someone, you will be unique, your own self.
Axel! What are you saying to him?
You know, he's as good a place to start as any.
You can't do this! No!
So sorry, Zexion. You just found out way too much.
Axel has other reasons for this that we won't learn of for a while. Oh well. You know, it's not like Zexion was much of a character anyway. Boo fucking who. Reaching the penultimate floor, Mickey finally manages to appear in person, giving Riku the card to Twilight Town. It is here that we meet Diz, a mysterious man cloaked in unnecessary belts and bandages.
Your scent is different. The Ansem in my heart smells darker. The odor is more foul.
Okay.
You came to me pretending to be Ansem. You gave me the card to make me face the darkness.
That is correct.
Diz, or so I am known. I've watched you all along. You are a special entity. You exist between light and dark. You stand in the twilight. You are to meet Naminé, then choose.
Just so we can have a quick giggle, Diz is spelled like this, and it stands for Darkness in Zero. I just love how fucking dorky these games are, man. You can really say that they make you dizzy. So now we must seek out Naminé, learn more, and choose. Before that, we briefly clash with Repliku, who is determined to eliminate Riku in order to assert himself as more than just a mere copy.
You've changed. Your own darkness. It doesn't frighten you anymore. How can you tell? Because I'm you. No, I'm me. I'm me, he says. Must be nice being real. A fake like me could never get away with saying that. That's right. I'm a phony. A fake. The way I look, the way I feel, everything I remember. And even this newfound power. I thought by finding some new strength, I could finally be someone who's not at all you. But nothing changes. I'm still just empty. Everything about me is borrowed. As long as you're around, I'll never be more than a shadow!
After defeating him, Repliku contemplates where his heart will go, with Riku offering a gentle, comforting answer.
So, it's over. Death doesn't frighten me. Good riddance to a phony life. My heart was never real. I'm sure even what I'm feeling now is probably all fake. What are you feeling? What happens when a fake dies? One like me. Where will my heart go? Does it disappear? It'll go somewhere. Maybe to the same place as mine. A faithful replica until the very end. That's okay.
Finally meeting up with Naminé, we find that Sora's story has been concluded for a while now, as he, Donald, and Goofy are already asleep in their pods. Naminé fills Riku in on what's up, then presents Riku with a choice on what to do about the darkness in his heart.
In your heart there is darkness, and in that darkness is Ansem. He may be at bay for now, but eventually he'll wake, and he will take over you just like he did before. With my powers, I can put a tight lock on your heart. That way, Ansem could never come out from inside you.
What happens to me if I let you do that?
The darkness in you will be sealed tight just like your memory. You'll stop remembering the darkness. You'll go back to how you were.
Riku decides to confront Ansem instead, and also confirms that he knows it was Naminé who helped him defeat Zexion earlier in the guise of Kairi.
I don't need my heart locked. I'm ready. I'm gonna fight Ansem.
But what if his darkness overtakes you?
If that happens, then the darkness will show me the way.
Yes, that's true.
Why do I get the feeling that you knew I would say that?
I didn't know. I hoped. I wanted you to face the darkness. Because you're the one who can.
So that's the reason. That's why you came to my rescue inside that light. In the form of Kairi.
When'd you know?
I knew when I met you. You and Kairi smell the same.
At long last, Riku confronts and defeats Ansem, but he can't go home. There's still work to be done, beginning with learning more about the rest of this organization beyond Castle Oblivion. As we head out, Diz offers a pair of black cloaks to Riku and Mickey. As we've now wound up on the organization's radar, they'll be after us, but the cloaks will allow Riku and Mickey to move about the worlds undetected by them, while also protecting them both from the darkness.
The organization will pursue you like a pack of hunting dogs. They will sneak up on you if they sense your presence. This cloak that is worn by nobodies will render their eyes and their noses useless. The ears, not so. They wear this to give themselves protection from being devoured by darkness.
Now more confident in his ability to balance the light and darkness within himself, Riku asserts his choice to Diz.
Between the road to light and the road to darkness.
Neither suits me. I'm taking the middle road.
Do you mean the Twilight Road to Nightfall?
No. It's the road to dawn.
Some more credits show us the aftermath, with Riku and Mickey working alongside Diz and Naminé, and even teasing an older Riku. We also see the blonde, spiky-haired boy in Twilight Town, this time being all buddy-buddy with Axel. Okay. I mean, knowing where this is going, my heart just preemptively hurts. Having to go through all 13 floors all over again would have been a nightmare. Thankfully, while Riku does still have to go through multiple rooms on each floor, the streamlining of only having to fight bosses for the most part makes it less unbearable. Still not great, but better, and the lack of character interactions does also help to reinforce Riku's self-induced isolation. And truthfully, it was kinda nice to not have to micromanage card decks this time around, even if the Wonderland deck sucks. It's almost like the game realized nobody would want to do this adventure all over again, and they went, okay, we'll make it quicker and easier this time, just please, 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 Riku. With Riku getting to be the protagonist this time around, we get a chance to understand his character better and help him to atone for his mistakes. It's the perfect approach to redeem him after his role as a friend turned antagonist in KH1. Through this, Riku is actively trying to make up for what he's done and reflect on his fears rather than being passively forgiven by the narrative, expecting us to follow suit. Firstly, there's Riku's guilt over destroying his world and turning on Sora, that his desire to see the outside world spiraled into fighting against the people he had initially wanted to explore the other worlds with. Cause again, what's the point of broadening your horizons without steadfast companions? Not to mention all the suffering caused by opening the door, thus destroying the Destiny Islands. Then there's also Riku's trauma from being manipulated and exploited by adults. Obviously Maleficent, but more so Ansem, who literally possessed Riku and used him to further his own agenda. That kind of thing doesn't just stop affecting you when the person who hurt you is gone. And I do have to commend Kingdom Hearts for tackling this kind of heavy topic in a way that's still appropriate for all ages, but also doesn't shy away from Riku's struggles and guilt. Now, Riku is low-key a saving grace for me in terms of how this franchise handles light and darkness. To put it simply, while I'm down for light and darkness being metaphors for the potential for good and evil in us all, it more often feels like a lazy way to write off characters that need to be considered either heroic or villainous by simply saying which side they're aligned with. Kingdom Hearts falls victim to this quite a lot, though Riku seems to be the only exception, able to harness the darkness within his heart and use it alongside the light to strengthen himself rather than falling victim to it.
After all your protests, you're still like us on the side of darkness.
I know who I am.
When did that happen? You were always terrified of the dark before.
Not anymore! I think his darkness may still have a hold on me.
Your darkness belongs to you, just the same way your light does. Up till now, I thought darkness was something that should never exist. Then, I spent time with you and changed my mind. The road you chose, I didn't know. Light and dark, back to back. With you, I think they might meet in a way nobody's seen before. Wonder where that road leads. I'd like to see myself.
Instead of orphaning a part of himself, Riku is made stronger by embracing all of who he is. And I do appreciate that. Darkness doesn't necessarily have to be evil. It can just be the shadow side to who we are that can be used for good, or at worst just needs to be kept in check. Mickey even acknowledges this rarity in Riku, which I think reinforces how much I enjoy their friendship. You'd never expect the edgy anime boys to be besties with the cartoon Rat King, but they have a genuine bond where Mickey helps Riku to forgive himself, while Riku shows Mickey that darkness doesn't always have to be shunned.
If Ansem is the victor, he's going to enslave me. If that happens, use your powers to destroy—
Of course! I'll be right there to save you.
Huh? No, that's not it. I want you to destroy—
No way! No matter what happens, I'm gonna be right there to help you. I promise you that. Unless you don't believe I'll come through for you.
I choose to believe in you. Always, Your Majesty.
And I in you. You're not gonna lose. I know it.
On a meta level, I find the idea that Riku, who was desperate to leave childhood behind, goes on this journey of healing partially by befriending one of the most iconic cartoon mascots of all time. It's like Riku is embracing aspects of childhood to help heal himself. All of that said, the mention of the scent of darkness doesn't seem to bother me the way that it does everybody else.
You reek of darkness. Even the light can't block the smell.
Yes, it's hilarious and can take you out of the moment, but it's kind of obvious why it's included. It's meant to speak of the rank energy that people like the organization and Ansem carry with them, that because of his experiences, Riku can spot from a mile away. Was there a better, less memeable way to phrase it? Probably, but come on, the scent thing is still iconic. While Riku's story doesn't include how memory can affect your identity, there are still themes of identity present through Repliku. Initially, Repliku is aware that he's a double created by Vexen and tries to assert his superiority by attacking Riku early on. We then see that the organization has Naminé rewrite Repliku's memories, making him believe that he's the real Riku and that he's Naminé's protector.
With a little help from Naminé, you'll have all the real Riku's memories. Maybe we can get her to make you forget you're nothing but a fake. In other words, we'll remake your heart so you can be exactly the same as the real Riku, okay?
You want to remake my heart? The real Riku is a wimp who's afraid of the dark. What do I want with the heart of a loser?
Any objections, Vexen? After all, you do want to test Sora, don't you?
It must be done.
How can you? Are you betraying me?
I told you I would make good use of you, didn't I?
No!
Relax, kiddo. I don't think it's gonna hurt that much. Look on the bright side. Along with everything else in your head, Naminé will erase the memory of me knocking you flat. Instead, she will implant the loveliest little memories you could ever hope for. It's no big deal that they're all lies.
Repliku is insecure about his origins, desperate to assert himself as valuable and worth considering as his own person. His amplified aggression and lack of fear of the darkness also lends to him reading as a foil to the real Riku, a version of him that gives in to his fears and worst tendencies that he is trying to atone for. Basically, a version of Riku that never got his shit together. Other characters we meet later in the series will have similar identity struggles, trying to fortify and assert their own individual identities, as the shadow of other characters threaten to consume them entirely. So in that sense, it is neat foreshadowing, but likewise tragic for Repliku. He became so obsessed in proving his superiority to Riku that he never realized that the attempt to compare and contrast them only further pushed him toward this tragic fate. Sadly, Zexion and especially Lexaeus fall short in terms of characterization and relevance, even compared to Marluxia. They don't get much time to form dynamics with Riku or even each other. Lexaeus exists. He's supposed to be the big broody guy who's super reserved and stoic and scary, a tried and true archetype, but there's not really much to him beyond that. His earth affinity is cool, and his giant black and red tomahawk also makes for a unique weapon that pairs well with his attacks and his element. Other than that, he's basically just there to fill out the organization ranks and get murdered. Zexion at least is somewhat interesting because of his manipulative scheming, trying to mess with Riku's head, exploit his guilt, and even disguise himself as Sora to get the upper hand. But like Marluxia, there's not much to Zexion's character himself. His weapon being a grimoire is pretty dope though. I love me a grimoire. It sets Zexion apart from his colleagues being a pure magic user, who can even mimic the weapons of his target with his magic. Apparently, Zexion wasn't a boss in the original GBA version, so fans were just left wondering for years what his weapon and powers even were until the remake, which is so wild to me. Like, what the fuck do you mean he wasn't always a boss? He's just that irrelevant? Now, as for Diz and Naminé, I am mixed. Firstly, Naminé doesn't get much time to talk to Riku, and because he's not having his memories manipulated, there isn't the same complicated dynamic between them as there was between Sora and Naminé. That's not inherently a problem, but as a bitch who loves characters getting to interact as much as possible, I do lament the most emo characters in the cast not getting to become friends, especially knowing we're eventually gonna try and pretend that Riku is straight and try to force him and Naminé together. Oh, Jesus Christ. Diz kinda just comes out of nowhere. We'll see more of him in KH2, and for me, he remains heavily underutilized, both there and here. There is more to his opposition to the organization, but For the time being, you're kind of just left wondering why he's here, why he cares about Riku, and how he wound up working with Naminé after Sora's story. You know, at least his design slaps, outside of one very concerning aspect that will result from his face reveal. Suffice to say, I wouldn't fault you for thinking this was Shane Dawson back at it with the blackface. And now I'm also just thinking about Kingdom Hearts' problem with colorism. Oof. Chain of Memories, for all of its many flaws, hosts genuinely compelling stories for both Sora and Riku. But even with those in mind, the biggest tragedy is that they are locked behind gameplay that's not for everyone, and an infuriatingly tedious structure that feels like descending through the rings of hell, but boring. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is required reading for KH2, which is half true. As a child who got stuck on the Vexen boss in Twilight Town in the GBA version, me not finishing the game led to baby me being confused as to why Sora was waking up in a mechanical pod at the start of KH2, and also not knowing who Naminé and Diz were when they turned up. That all said, KH2 is still written in such a way to try and fill in the major gaps, so you can still follow along and enjoy the story even without Chain of Memories. The real reason you'll need to be familiar with the story is all the later games that will expect you to have played this game. So consider this an investment in your future. For what it is, I am glad that Chain of Memories exists. To my knowledge, the GBA version is actually considered the better version, and if you can get your hands on a copy or, you know, emulate it, it's worth checking out. The artwork on all the sprites is fucking beautiful, and the environments. Managing to capture the spirit and emotionality of Kingdom Hearts without even that many pixels to work with, that's just witchcraft. But just know that this isn't the last time we're going to be rehashing KH1, fam. And though this might have seemed tedious, next time will be far, far worse, because there won't even be an original story to save us. But that's a problem for future us. Next time for our series will be the one, the true, the only Kingdom Hearts 2. And prepare yourselves, because she is the fan favorite. She is my favorite. She is, always has been, and always will be that girl. Till then, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this from me, then be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, because YouTube hates creators. And again, if you can, pledging your support for myself and the channel over on Patreon helps me to continue the work that I do. I'm the Unicorn of War, and Naminé's life is a real shit show.